Otemenka.
Otemenka.
Yes, and first of all, we want to understand the genesis of this whole conversation. The the Attorney General and Minister for Justice is serving as a prosecutor, prosecuting a case of causing financial loss to the state against the honorable minority leader in Ghana's parliament. Acceptance as here and in infraction, you know, if we have.
Okay, it is my main. A team for action. Now, the main aim to say NDC for press conference on and NPP for press conference on they are acting as politicians. And one would definitely expect that they will skew or slant Neombeck and Bian in favor of their political party. I don't want to step into almost politics now or more yellow. That is not the issue I want to deal with. Otherwise, then I'm also going to behave like a politician like them. I will be slanting. I am looking at the objective issues that you're raising. In the first place, what was the need for the Attorney General to have that discussion with Japa? At the time,
Yes, Council, you remember that discussion, so which is a subject matter. Yes, me person Ghana 40 years here about saying and contract issues no aqua court.
So what happened? They say NDC for Aban FM so ya against almost import 200 ambulance at the back of my munebeboa ya ko mudin ehu tuju it is the man, Japan, no, the company near that they say, Omogenamova, Zanyamanopabla. Now, that 200
ambulances, no, yeah.
You didn't number at the go. Near so, say, or the 50, a beba, or the 50 in banner, the BIA 5 or 1. That's the another 50 about. Or the back in those tranches, that tranches of 50, until say, will be the whole thing. But the woman say, a time say, I buy a money to be not only so one or G, ambulance, nephew or more, or no, all moments to KBano. You are back when be a fast so at the mark for a year, Juma at the mouth. Nibia, won't share down for Caribbean farm out there. And only the event letters of credit. It is the open if you do a good shape, or yet you may be at the mouth. As a human idea ever for a mind chain. Now, Yamaya, yes, I crash I letters of credit. Now, all the not of all. If I knew or mother, she put sign your manual. Now, it is our letters of credit to Eddie Achille. Now, engineer and no so. Eddie, I said, you reach any Babonoka. That was to my point.
Okay.
Now, and there will be any near you, Raku. First time here. Now, I know so that he did also, I can say. So, I did sign is letters of credit to know. According to the constitution, the Ushem one, they idea what the Omari Jambo, Wama Omano, Aboka, Opepiso. And we see, and I in Nakakujina, as a media, I can happen. It is at two force in dear woman say. A woman who are your best instance sign. It will be a Mayanya, dear, with friend letters of credit to know. And no cost signing yet. I know that you just can say what also financial loss. And I say, why ye be via a bit a car about the 2 or man or so. Yang children do Mukatra if I have causing financial loss. Now, some financial loss, we are not yet say there is 2 years no.
Yes.
And we are saying, says Gananka or Manu to me, says Gan IEPC for us to the Bamba, sorry, am I? Now, I said, we are Shanghai, and now you 2 for the Nanka, person who would say, you 2 for say. Then, yes, I know. As you need a chido, it is the open set who establishes the issue of causing financial loss. First and foremost, who establishes there was no value for money as far as that particular thing is concerned. It is an idea no a 10 city. And now one should be you two for went and our photo idea no as this city. Guama Aban Aboka by 40 cities. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
So that is how it is. It's, in the court, what the prosecution will have to establish and that aspect of willful act. Idea, we are now no. Now we need another example. We to be we need to due diligence. You have undertaking the requisite due diligence to ensure that idea now we and Efaka and Famba. Now, which is why the one share. Now the yes idea. You have to establish willfulness. You have to establish heedlessness and other issues. It's because they are so forcing issue, our court, many persons make anything about that particular issue. But what they will have to establish in the court, the issue there, he was willful in signing that particular will, and now say, or no, as so forcing, only some mandate, or your deputy minister, yes. But a deputy minister, no, he can act only upon the instruction of the substantive minister. If you do, baby, no, yet in the same. As a person, as signing letters of credit, without the prior approval or knowledge of the then minister for finance.
Okay.
I don't know when we Minister of Finance, I yes, second, or no one back on, I can't say. Or no, catch them say on signing. Right? If an agent acts on behalf of a principal, if there are any consequences, it is the principal who is to be held liable. The sense and can respect our back can say, I will know, and no catch there. As a person said, he was not immediately available in the country. That particular friend saying was urgently needed, on signing for and on his behalf. Then, of course, they could have left as a person and proceeded rather to handle the substantive minister SF. But well, just as I said, before court, we'll have to leave it at that and see how the judge will make a determination as far as that particular case is concerned.
Very, very well. Now, as part of the processes in court, and key witnesses, Emma Womo testimony. Now, Ora Japa, Emma on box, somewhere last week, in an attempt, say, one also Ebemani testimony. Now, this whole issue about Attorney General trying to influence a key witness, in this whole situation, Akwakofa and Sembebre no Ediaba. Now, the substantive issue in Tiandra, my press conference is here, so the conduct of the Attorney General, some have said, it is against the legal professional rules and the actor, one more every year, Juma. Some have even called for a resignation of the Attorney General. Should there be a truth in this particular issue? Where do we start from, and how do we tackle this situation?
Okay. But you say there will be a comporter. The idea essentially, and they say, the Basa in Pacono, you for a veteran. Now, such a word we need for 4 main purposes. That's the 4 main essence of punishment. First one, a deterrent to others. The other one is also for retribution. Another one is also for restitution. And then, of course, for rehabilitation. Now, in the case of Atofosing Adiwe, what we have heard was that, well, Atofosing's supposed issuance of the, the letters of credit, had led to a loss of 2.37
million euros.
Good. Now, Deep Sea, now we all produce that a year, friends.
Ambulance,
Ambulance, so look here. We don't want our names to be dragged into such a way. It is such a kind of most thing. Papa, we for signing now for financial loss and other things. We are ready to pay that money so that you forget about this whole thing. Where I have the problem is when it is alleged or it is said that the Attorney General refused it. Firstly, when the lawyers of DC wrote the letter to the Attorney General, it is, and I read it, I don't know, but in this day and age of AI and all those things, you know, won't rely so much on some of these things that you see or hear. You might be a bit circumspect about them.
Okay.
But what is there was that the Attorney General refused the letter or the offer of DC because they were not the accused persons.
And they were not parties to the issue, the case.
Precisely. So they went back, wrote another letter, and indicated, said, oh, the Amokani Yati. But the said accused person, you represent or young agents, you know. And then I I'm a Wati. And the first accused person, Yakachen said, this is what we intend doing. I only say he has nothing against it. It is Israel. My opinion to including interest on the said amount, you know, he bet you are in 2 tranches. And also, Attorney General said there be unfinished. Then I asked myself, so what were we looking for? Yes, see the panel. Why my face says and now says you can see, yeah, shouldn't know. Yes, see this cano and the abba. Say the background or the bow, say Obi from or the bow in the move, or say me the back, the ya. So I think I shouldn't know, it be free order. So why did the Attorney General refuse that offer? Now we come even under Section 35 of the Court Act,
okay,
which says that such an offer or a plea bargaining can go on. And in that case, you know, what will happen is that Atufosen and Jakpa will have been found guilty, but they will not suffer any custodial sentence. That is under the Court Act, which you said, but you'll be found guilty, you'll be pronounced guilty, so you will be an ex-convict, so to speak, but you will not spend any time behind bars.
Okay.
Then we are told to say that Attorney General said, company. So if this had happened, then we hear a conversation between the Attorney General and the Fed accuser and go for various offers on his part. Attorney General Department is all company. Now, as the Akakoba said, Jakpa in that conversation, you know, was now more or less educating you on the issue of
letters of credit
and all those type of things, and meetings that you have held with him, and what you want him to do, and even telling him that you should prolong his evidence so that you can be in the country at the time, including even saying that he should go in for a medical report to say on Tiapo. That for me, of course, is a rumor, but the rumor in itself is equally serious. And if it is established in the credit, let's just say, so for me, I don't want these politicians to come and do their normal banter. The politics, I just say in Yoma. We are being told to say, Jakpa, any Attorney General, Asia, or a Supreme Court judge here. Speaker.
Yes,
what
Counsel.
Is it that is happening when case go before our courts? Is it the case that people have been meeting some of these people, judges even in their homes, discuss issues before we come to court? Is that what is happening in our jurisprudence? I mean, is that what is happening in our justice system? It's in the Magana for and say, political board being here, but as you say, NDC for almost like NPP 4. No. we are now being told of a certain rot which is taking place.
Now, but Council, utie AG assertion no, and then the responses the PRO at the by through the ministry. And now they tell you, sir, that meeting no supposedly was to be a meeting and and no inability the plea bargaining arrangement between the third accused person or second accused persons, which is Uru Ajapa, and then the Attorney General himself, and perpetually or no, they're calling for that meeting in the supposed justices house. Yes.
Don't let them associate this issue. And the friend. I mean, you was in yesterday. I think whether it was the whale that swallowed Jonah or it was Jonah who swallowed the whale. There was
a swallow, exactly.
What am I going to say? What is the issue is that there was a meeting, and there ought not to have been that meeting. If you want that, your friend saying, Justice of the Supreme Court, exercise meeting in Mumbai, don't go here then. Now, if people are going to do any plea bargaining, is the plea bargaining done in the residency of a Supreme Court judge? Is that what those things are discussed? And when at the time, Japan had a lawyer that you're sorry. So why? So I am saying that Magana for politicians, and treat idea with a more political will. So I listen to what the NPP guys came to say. They never at any moment said that Asama and this before Ababekano and Yanukre. They never said that. They never said that the voice was not the voice of the Attorney General. They never said that.
But they were very clear, said the tape has been ducted.
Whether it has been ducted or it has been nurse or it has been pharmacist, whatever description they give to it, the point is that the NDC guys were organizing a news conference. And so they would have probably chosen the part of the tape noir almost
a CTO case.
To make their case. So it is not a matter of saying, they had a 26-minute tape, so they are going to play the whole 26 tape. Take note that they had also, as it were, going to pay for the airtime. So they cannot come and play the whole tape for that 26 minutes, So at least the 10 minutes airtime, and of course you at the studio knows the cost of an airtime, 1 minute airtime. You know how much it costs. So for you to come and say, it was doctored, they were pieced together. Of course, some of us also heard and realized that, the whole thing, they were pieced. But continue say, what was said, is it a case that you are saying, it was AI generated and that it is not the voice of this gentleman and that it has been made to look as if it's your own voice? And I said, this a friend saying, WhatsApp messages that you show any other things, that those things were never done and that they have been fabricated. They never addressed that issue. No more the address was and the fact that they also made attempts to see the Attorney General, and the Attorney General being a very strong guy, what cases in it, President is so appraising, he still said that he will not allow, he was not going to agree to the kind of plea bargaining that they brought in. How? And I go on to say, now I can say that the can also be to an amendment.
Very well. Council, you have already laid down the ground rules, sir. We should not go into the political aspect, but let's substantially, in law, come to the Attorney General. Now, you can say obi a buying lawyer penny, and then a minister in charge of justice. According to Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution, such a position and such a person, the mandate, any say. And then the questioning of the fact is, the Attorney General, I have heard some lawyers make the point, on any moral right or justification, as a senior most lawyer, who hold the laws in your bosom, What sounds so crown on the second part, asenia air course no ona woye the prosecutor will prosecute asem no. There was no moral right and justification for him to have gone outside the court, say or kwakofre witness be any na kwakodin komo ewetire. Now it raises concern about a year rules are modi ye juma as lawyers in the court of law. And I just want Ghanaians to understand that perspective. Attorney General Juma and saying in situations are only the prosecution, what does the rules of court say about the conduct and in the near ma SSA warrior?
Very well. The Attorney General under the Constitution, on any nipa position, I clear about my position. But there shall be an Attorney General. Nasa Attorney General shall be the Minister of Justice. Position I clear about the rule. Now, the Attorney General is expected to be the government lawyer. When you're talking about government, we are not talking about the party. We are talking about the government. So what we have now is a government. Yes, it can be a government which flows out of a particular political party. But it is not an NPP government. It is the government of Ghana. But may be under an NPP administration, so to speak. But even then, because we have the executive presidency, I recognize it. So all acts to emanate from the president. It is not to emanate from the, from the party. That's the first thing. It is the whole year Attorney General. Now, we say Minister of Justice. Where Juma Bailey, you know, I to say a man so emphasize. Like a man, so I can't. And it's a man who in it is a battle the assembly bar. One shall say the background, I won't be cool. Now, what you want? And I say the background, what you find out, what be cool, you know, oh, yeah, they are by a piano. No. What the end is a Obasha say, I think to name everybody.
Okay.
You are the minister.
And I said, yes, sir, or has who say pepper your ebeba.
Precisely, all he is expected to do is to present the facts as he has got them before the courts. Now, courts, you know, are a determination. In fact, it is even advised to say, where the court even finds an accused person guilty, now a basse, a pre-trial,
plea bargaining arrangement.
Yeah, pre-address, pre-sentence address. To say, the lawyer will have to say something by way of mitigation, and then the Attorney General will also have to respond, you know, by way of a reaction to the plea of mitigation. It is even said to say, the prosecution is not to ask for a maximum sentence or a harsher punishment or anything. What you are say, once we have been able to establish our case, the court is with us. The court thinks we have established our case. It has convicted the person. So we leave the sentence to the court to so decide. You don't come and say the person must be given a deterrent punishment or you must be, you know, punished like that others will not copy from you. No, you don't have to say that. That one will be left.
Okay.
The sentencing regime, you know, is left with the judge to make a decision there. So, sentence I'm never going to perform with. Purpose I'm a 7 years. But you don't suggest to the judge harsher punishment. No. But you know, who be telling me about the role for the Attorney General? The Attorney General's own should not be to always ensure that obey your conviction of an accused person. No. Present your case the way you had them. Present your facts as have been made available to you, and leave the court to make a determination. Otherwise, what you are insisting that you have brought a case before the court, and all you are looking for is that the accused person must be convicted. It ceases to be a prosecution. It rather becomes a persecution.
Interesting. Now, as lawyers, no, momra modiye jumano edoso. Now, you have the Legal Professions Act 1960, Act 32, giving birth to LI 2423. Now, I want to read Rule 1 of the Legal Profession and Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules 2020. Now, this is what it states, and I want you to explain it to us and the public as well. Interpretation of rules. When it comes to Rule 1, or say the rules shall be interpreted in a manner recognizable that a lawyer has a duty in the practice of law to discharge the responsibility of the lawyer to a client, the court, the public, and any other lawyer honorably and with integrity. Now, you come to point B. It says that a lawyer has a special responsibility by virtue of the privileges afforded the legal profession and the important role the profession plays in a free and democratic society in the administration of justice, including a special responsibility to recognize the diversity of the Ghanaian community, to protect the dignity of individuals, and to respect human rights laws enforced in the country. And as well, on point C states that it is the duty of a lawyer at all times to uphold the dignity and standing of the legal profession. In part of this whole conversation, no, as a lawyer, no, you have a responsibility, sir, to a far extent, to bear respect to a client, consider the interest of the public. Utsie the reward no air. Are we seeing some, differentials in what the rules are saying as against what is happening now in the public domain?
Okay. As I said earlier, all that has been said, Jaka, and all that has been played out in the case, these are allegations. And that's why some of us as lawyers are urging the General Legal Council to take up this matter, to investigate it and establish whether or not there's particular claims that are being made, whether or not they did really happen.
Very well.
If they did happen, then they will now be in a position to actually wear sanction any error or take to the appropriate ways which will be needy. Let's not forget to say the Attorney General is the leader of the bar. Or no, the primus is the barring. It is the Udu order. Even if there is something from the Attorney General Department, now or yet just even 6 months at the bar. Now we'll be even taking a scrabble at the bar to the extent that that person is from the Attorney General Department and he is supposed to be representing the Attorney General or what the preference. No. A man of priority over all the others who are there. Unless that person from the AG department decides that, I have seniors here, let me show evidence to them. Let me also say that and also them for them. The Attorney General as the leader of the bar, because he is himself a lawyer.
Exactly.
What any lawyer at all is expected to do. And if you happen to be the leader of that group, you are to put up the best foot forward so that others who are also following you as you being the leader will emulate your good examples. Also, so we are the way put up. It is for me. Say no credit. Say that we ever yet, and now say no credit. Let me say the General Legal Council ever investigated this particular issue, so that at least we are able to re-establish the integrity of the present Attorney General. That is you about the charge from against him, and now all this you what we the Attorney so are. Which we are in Japan.
Very well.
Present and back only just what is here. And now on the Asian between us, the air can say, American say me, and want to get and what to the mayor in Vineyard in one. And also, I think you do on the side. Yeah, you know so.
Very well.
That's why, yes, just as somebody said, the law is no respect of person. He can be the Attorney General if he flouts the law. Whatever the law recommends by way of sanctions, he must also bear this.
Very well. Council, I don't pay my men now. I think we've had a lot about this. And thank you so much, I don't pay for your time once again.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. And lawyer Pokumi, and a meaning a good and comono. Mame Emfa Asidani be